On July 20th, 4:44 a.m., a candle burned in your name at a stranger's altar. You were never meant to know. Archangel Michael says, there are moments in the spirit realm when silence thunders louder than words. On July 20th, at precisely 4:44 a.m., while the world slept in unconscious slumber, your name was whispered into a place it never should have reached. A stranger's altar, tucked away in secrecy, bore your essence without your permission. You were not meant to find out. Not now. Not ever. But the divine broke through the veil to ensure that you would. A flickering candle, a seemingly harmless flame, was lit with hidden intentions. The wax that dripped was more than melted color, it was an offering. And the name whispered over that flame was yours. The person who lit it does not know you the way they think they do. They see an image of you distorted by their own desires. They sought power, they sought control, but they did not seek truth. Archangel Michael says, this altar was not one of love, nor light, nor remembrance. It was a sacred space twisted for selfish will. And as the candle glowed, it carried a message through the air like smoke. Your spirit trembled that morning. You may have felt uneasy, restless, stirred by a sense of something off. That was your soul reacting to the unpermitted summoning. At 4:44, a number charged with messages from divine forces, a signal was sent. But the candle, though it burned, did not consume you. Instead, it opened a gateway that allowed heavenly warriors to intervene. A whisper in the dark cannot overcome a roar of light. You were being watched, protected, and covered. Even when you didn't know, the heavens fought for you in silence. That person who lit the candle is not just any stranger. They've crossed your path before, barely noticed, easily forgotten. But they remembered you far longer than they should have. You became a fixation in their rituals. They saw something in you that they couldn't possess. So instead of letting go, they tried to summon what didn't belong to them. The objects on their altar, an old feather, a bone, a photo that once captured your face, were placed there with obsessive energy. It wasn't admiration, it was entitlement dressed in spiritual disguise. Archangel Michael says, the flame they lit was extinguished not by wind, but by divine order. The ritual they began was shattered before it reached full potency. You may have felt a tightness in your chest, or chills that defied logic. That was the interception. Do not mistake this act as just superstition. This was a targeted reach into your energetic field, a spiritual trespass. But something inside you stirred awake that morning. You weren't fully asleep. Your intuition began to pulse, softly, then louder, until you began to notice the signs. Clocks repeating the number 4. Dreams you couldn't remember, but woke up from gasping. A strange scent in your home, like wax and wild herbs. This person knows your name but not your purpose. They want to feel close to something they can never become. And so, they tried to siphon a spark from your divine flame. But they underestimated your spiritual guards. They didn't account for Archangel Michael's sword standing at your side. The altar has now cracked. Their candle melted down, not in a glow of victory, but in a hiss of resistance. The smoke turned against them, and the spirit they tried to disturb, the you they reached for, remains untouched. Do not feel fear, but do feel awakened, because you are stepping into a time when no secret can be hidden from you anymore. That altar was only one of many attempts to spiritually influence you from a distance. You've been talked about in circles where you've never set foot. You've been the topic of conversations held behind closed doors and shaded intentions. But now, the locks are rusting, and the shadows that hid their schemes are disappearing under divine light. This stranger had no idea who they were summoning. They thought they were calling upon someone vulnerable. But your soul lineage is older than their ritual practices. Archangel Michael says, "You are not of this world in the way they think. Your energy is cloaked in celestial royalty. To try to possess you is to wage war with forces they cannot understand." Now, their world is beginning to shift, their mirror cracked, their dreams disturbed. Every time they attempt to use your name again in secret, they will taste the bitterness of their own intentions. What they called down upon you shall orbit back to their door. The altar now holds a reversed current, and though you were never meant to know, now that you do, your power has tripled. Because awareness is the strongest armor. This was not a warning to fear. It is an announcement of protection, and more importantly, an invitation to reclaim all energy that was ever used. Without your permission, a spiritual cleanse has already begun around you. Salt, flame, and celestial light have formed a wall. They cannot reach you again the same way. Do not be surprised if this person attempts to contact you soon. Whether directly or through coincidence, they will seek your presence. But you will recognize them, not by their face, but by the heavy sensation they carry. You will know. Trust that knowing. Walk away and let divine justice speak on your behalf. There will be consequences, not from you, but from above. The candle they lit will be the last one ever used in your name without consent. And the altar they built will become their reminder of why some flames should never be ignited. Archangel Michael says, "Heaven takes no offense lightly when it involves one of its chosen ones. You were not built to be manipulated, observed, or used for another's spiritual leverage. You are here to rise. And you will. From this moment forward, expect your clarity to increase. Expect your energy to feel lighter and your sleep to deepen. You've just been spiritually extracted from someone's influence. Someone who thought they were hidden. But divine eyes are all-seeing. Let this message settle in your spirit. Let it prepare you for the glow you're stepping into next. Because nothing can be hidden from the awakened. And nothing summoned without permission can stay. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, "The forces that stood by in silence have now spoken. They were waiting for divine permission to act. Now that the veil has been lifted, every whisper spoken against your name will echo back tenfold. This is not just about one candle. It's about the pattern of energy that's been circling you from unfamiliar places. The altar was simply the beginning of what was meant to control, distract, or delay your destiny. That candle was a thread. But heaven found the spool. And now, the entire fabric of their scheme is unraveling before your very eyes. They thought lighting a flame would give them dominion over you. Instead, they set fire to the very rope that held their fake power in place. Everything they built spiritually in secret now trembles with every breath you take. You may begin to notice strange shifts around you. Someone might act distant, then suddenly apologetic. Another may try to reconnect after a long absence. These are not coincidences. They are responses to the divine exposure. They are reacting to the walls closing in on their hidden attempts. They are losing grip, not on you, but on the illusion they tried to place over your path. When you were being mentioned in rooms you never walked in, the spirit realm recorded every word. And now, heaven has filed those records under divine judgment. One by one, your name is being pulled out of the mouths that said it with selfish intention. It will taste bitter to them from now on. They will be reminded that sacred names are not playthings. And yours is sacred. On that morning, July 20th, 4:44 a.m., the wind carried a whisper from the heavens to your soul. Even if you didn't hear it with your ears, your spirit flinched. You woke up differently that day and couldn't explain why. That is because you are spiritually attuned to heavenly frequencies. You are not just protected, you are connected. And even when others think they are ahead of you, you are already surrounded by divine foresight. The stranger who burned the candle will learn soon that their ritual backfired. Not because you retaliated, but because divine balance cannot be disturbed. When light is used for darkness, the consequences are severe. Expect strange dreams from here on, not to scare you, but to prepare you. They will reveal more than what was shown at the altar. Archangel Michael says, this is your initiation into a deeper spiritual awareness. Your vision is opening now. You will begin to see the truth behind people's smiles, behind their sudden interests. There is someone connected to that altar who will pretend to want to help you. They'll come offering guidance, friendship, maybe even money. But behind their smile is the echo of that candle. Watch their hands more than their words. Watch who they observe when they think you're not looking. You are not paranoid. You are being sharpened. You were chosen to rise beyond this manipulation. And that's why you were never meant to know, because if you knew, they would fail faster. But now that you do know, they cannot return. If you've been losing sleep, expect rest. If your energy has been foggy, expect mental clarity. If you've been questioning your worth, expect an unshakable confidence to root in your soul. This act against you was meant to curse, but heaven rewrote the ritual in midair. The candle meant for your harm has become the torch that lights your ascension. The stranger's altar may still stand, but it will no longer hold your name. It will crumble under the weight of divine justice. You have the authority to revoke any tie they tried to make. Even without knowing all the steps, your spirit already broke free. And every day forward, you grow stronger because of that. Archangel Michael says, you were not built to be a passive participant in this lifetime. You were built to command spiritual rooms, even in silence. That stranger saw your energy and tried to mimic it, contain it, capture it. But your soul isn't made of wax. Your light isn't made of flickering flames. Your fire was born of divine breath, and no altar on earth can contain it. So if you feel waves of energy in the coming days, don't be alarmed. It's your power returning. Your name is being purified, elevated, restored. And one day, you'll look back and realize, that morning at 4:44 wasn't a curse. It was a spiritual awakening masked as a threat. Now you walk with new armor. The kind no one sees, but everyone feels when they step into your presence. You are untouchable by those who work in shadows. Let them watch. Let them wonder why their tricks no longer work. Let them carry the weight of what they tried to send your way. Because you are carrying grace. And that cannot be bought, stolen, or summoned at an altar. They may light another candle, but it will burn out faster now. Every ritual against you will now bring protection to you. This is a shift you cannot unsee, a door you cannot close. You are now walking in spiritual royalty, and your throne cannot be borrowed. This is your confirmation. This is your clearance. The divine has spoken, and the earth will now respond accordingly. Every flame lit in secrecy will now serve as light to expose their plans. Every whisper made against you will be used to elevate you. The reversal has begun, and you are the proof. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, what they failed to realize is that your energy was never dormant. It was only in protection mode, waiting for the right moment to reveal its strength. And now that the veil has been torn, you're no longer walking, you recommanding. That altar? It trembled the moment your spirit stirred. Not because you fought back, but because you woke up. Your awakening is the most powerful retaliation the universe could offer. The hands that lit the candle are now shaking, not because they're guilty, but because they're confused. They don't understand why the flame they lit became a flood that drowned their influence. Because it was never yours to burn. You were never theirs to call upon. And your name was never created for hidden chants in places of false reverence. They underestimated the weight of your soul. They did not know that behind your eyes was the lineage of warriors. They forgot that even when you re-silent, the heavens roar on your behalf. This is why you may feel different lately. Not broken, not wounded, but lighter. The invisible chains were snapped before they even knew you'd noticed. From now on, you will feel vibrations before the danger. You will hear the intentions beneath people's words. You will sense who is real and who is performing loyalty. Because that candle woke something inside you. Something dormant. Something divine. Your spiritual vision has sharpened. Your path has cleared. Your aura has expanded beyond their reach. They thought they could harness your name for their gain, but your name is laced with divine codes. And when spoken in deceit, it summons consequences they were not ready for. The one who lit that candle will now experience what it feels like to summon a storm disguised as a spark. And the smoke they sent out will now follow them through every space they tried to hide. You don't need revenge. You are the outcome. You are the evidence that divine timing is never late. From this moment on, your name will only be used in love, in reverence, in truth. The heavens have placed spiritual guards at every corner of your energy. And no candle, no chant, no hidden altar will ever reach you again. If you ever feel the urge to speak your name aloud when alone, do it. There is power in your voice. Power in reclaiming what was spoken without your blessing. Say your name like a declaration. Like thunder breaking through false silence. Say it not in fear, but in finality. They tried to rewrite your spiritual story. But you are the pen now. And the page they tried to stain with wax and whispered spells has been burned and rewritten in gold. Your story is protected. Your name is sealed in divine ink. And that stranger, whoever they were, wherever they are, will soon realize that it was they who were never meant to know you, not the other way around. You are stepping into a chapter now where no altar can touch you, no energy can drain you, no deception can live near you. Watch as blessings begin to flow, not just because you were attacked, but because you survived what you didn't even see coming. The candle meant to break you is the very flame lighting the path toward your elevation. This is poetic justice, and heaven wrote every line. The stranger who tried to summon control, summoned their own fall. Because you are not someone who can be pulled like a puppet. You are the divine force they never prepared for. This is your moment. This is your rise. And nothing can dim what heaven has already ignited in you. Archangel Michael says, walk forward now with new authority. Walk with peace, not paranoia. Walk knowing that you've been marked for favor, not for harm. The candle is out. The altar is silenced. And your name, oh, your name, is now only found in the presence of the divine. And one final truth remains. You were never supposed to find out. But you did. Because heaven wanted you ready. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, now that you know the truth, the atmosphere around you is shifting permanently. You are not stepping back into the old version of yourself. You're entering a divine upgrade that was delayed, not denied. There are blessings that were hovering just above your life. They didn't fall because the interference was subtle and cloaked in false spirituality. But with the altar shattered and the flame neutralized, nothing can block what is rightfully yours anymore. Your finances will begin to move. Your relationships will start to align. And the heaviness you carried for no reason will vanish like smoke from an extinguished candle. From this point on, your name will ring differently in the mouths of others. It will taste like royalty to the pure-hearted, and like ash to those who spoke it with jealousy or false devotion. You may receive strange apologies, people admitting they felt off or that something told them to reach out. That's because their spirit senses your rebirth, even if their mind doesn't understand it. Some will walk away without explanation. Let them. They were attached to the version of you that tolerated energetic leeches. This new you, this awakened, protected, power-wrapped version, doesn't beg, doesn't shrink, doesn't allow your name to be spoken in secret circles without consequence. A new spiritual gate has been placed around your essence. No one may enter without truth. No one may invoke your name without light. And if they try, they'll find themselves surrounded not by the energy they wanted to borrow, but by the echoes of their own darkness, returning home like a boomerang. What they tried to do in the quiet will now be their loudest lesson. They will be haunted not by spirits, but by the purity of your protection. They will remember you not as a victim, but as a force. Let your steps now be full of quiet confidence. Let your words be fewer, but heavier. Let your eyes hold the kind of fire only the protected carry. Your spiritual glow is not just brighter, it is blinding to those with impure intentions. And while some will celebrate your rise, others will shield their eyes and retreat, because they were never supposed to stand beside your destiny. July 20th, 4:44 a.m. was not the moment you were cursed. It was the moment you were revealed. You were awakened, not to fear, but to purpose. The stranger's altar will no longer echo your energy. It will sit cold, confused, cracked, because the one they tried to summon cannot be captured. You are divinely uncatchable. You are protected by heavenly contracts no human hand can erase. Your name is etched in light. So remember this: any time you feel a strange weight, return to this truth. Speak your name aloud with love. It is your signature of survival. You are not defined by what was done to you in secret. You are defined by the power of what rose through you after. And from now on, you will live under no one's spiritual shadow. Archangel Michael says, this was your final test. And you passed it without knowing. The heavens rejoiced as you rose above what was meant to weaken you. You didn't fight. You didn't beg. You simply endured, and now, you reign. And the throne that was carved for you is now waiting, with your name glowing above it. Watch the signs now. Expect repeating numbers, unlocked opportunities, chance encounters that shift everything. This is not fantasy, this is alignment. You are walking into a season where protection surrounds you like air. Your spiritual team stands taller. Your name cannot be touched again without consequence. Even your silence speaks now. Even your breath commands respect. You are no longer unaware, you are chosen, and you are awake. And that candle? Its flame went out, but your fire just began. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, what once was hidden has now been dismantled by divine exposure. The spiritual sabotage that was meant to confuse you has been completely reversed. The energy that once wrapped itself around your progress like invisible ropes has unraveled into dust. Even your ancestors were present when that flame flickered in your name. They stood in holy defense, shielding your purpose from being tampered with. What was meant to block your future has now become the gateway for your supernatural clarity. Now, every room you enter will shift. The very air will respond to your presence, because your aura has been cleansed through fire. But not their fire, heaven's fire. They had no idea that the very act meant to curse you would summon angelic wrath. They thought they were in control, with herbs, chants, symbols and wax. But divine energy cannot be bent by manipulation, it overpowers it. And now your name has been declared untouchable. Yes, untouchable. Because once heaven marks you, no darkness can rewrite that decree. From this moment forward, everything changes. Your home will feel different, your body lighter, your decisions clearer. Because what you didn't know was working against you, is gone now. That altar is no longer a place of influence, it's a ruin of regret. And the person who dared to speak your name in secret now has to face their own reflection. Because when you try to alter the path of the chosen, you call forth storms you can't control. If you feel your sleep becoming deeper, rejoice. If you feel more laughter in your chest, rejoice. Because that's the healing beginning, that's the divine rebalancing your soul. Your intuition is becoming sharper. You'll begin to sense things seconds before they happen. You'll speak things that others were afraid to say, and you won't even know why it's pouring out of you. That's because your spiritual gift, the one they tried to bury, has now resurrected. It didn't die. It simply waited. And now it returns, stronger and unshakable. People around you may suddenly behave strangely. Some will pull away without reason. Others will attempt to get close again. But now you know, not everyone deserves access to your energy. Let discernment be your guardian. Let silence be your response when intuition speaks. Let presence be your revenge. The person who lit that candle? They're now living in a space of confusion, watching their power dissolve like smoke. Because they touched something sacred without permission. Your name is not a spell ingredient. It is a divine identity written in spiritual authority, and only heaven holds the right to move your destiny. Archangel Michael says, "Now, it is time to walk as if you were meant to discover this. Hold your head up, even when you walk alone, because the light around you is too bright for the unready to follow. Your life is about to speed up. The delay they caused is being repaid in acceleration. Things that were stagnant will now move like rivers breaking through dams. Financial opportunities will knock. Romantic clarity will rise. And friendships born of truth, not convenience, will appear when least expected. You are not the same person who existed before 4:44 a.m. on July 20th. That moment split your timeline. There is a before, and there is a becoming, and you, beloved, are becoming. The spirit realm now knows that your name cannot be used again without holy consequence. Those who whispered it behind veils will now whisper your glory. They will see that you rose, not because of them, but despite them. Let your journey from this day be filled with deliberate steps. Say yes only when your soul agrees. Say no when peace disappears from the room. And when you see candles now, do not fear them, because the only flame that holds power in your life now is the fire within you, set ablaze by divine authority. This message was delayed until the heavens allowed you to be ready. And now, you are. You have crossed through the invisible battlefield and walked out without a scar. The stranger who burned that candle will come to understand that in trying to summon you, they summoned their awakening. And now they must deal with the divine hands that fight for you daily. You are being given the gift of deeper discernment. Pay attention to your surroundings. The wind, the numbers, the words you overhear, they are messages now. Let them guide you. Let them confirm what your soul already knows. You are chosen. You are protected. You are powerful. And if the world still doubts you, let them watch. Because a new flame burns now, and this one doesn't flicker. It consumes. Your breakthrough is not coming, it has begun. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20.